Start the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item we have is the roll call.
Sure. Gibby LaFontaine here. Christopher.
Here.
Elaine Marshall here. Merrin Coleman.
Here.
And Cindy Green has been excused absent. She's sick.
Thank you very much. Next item we have tonight is the presentation of agenda. Is there anything anybody would like to move or add to the agenda tonight? Hearing none, can I get a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
So move.
Support? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carried. Thank you. Next item we have tonight is public comment on agenda items only. At this point, I'm going to have our new building inspector, Chad Nickel, come up and keep order. Come on up, Chad. Yeah, you should go ahead to the podium and those guys get you out of here as soon as I get this shit. So, it's all yours for a quick minute.
My name is Chad Nickel. I'm a lifelong resident of Richmond Township, and I have all the credentials to be your building inspector and carry out duties as necessary. And I appreciate the good job there, guys.
And Drew's been really good helping Chad transition and get him what stuff he needs and
We went together on an inspection on Monday, and everything went fine.
Good. Anybody have any questions for Chad?
Real quick.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, we definitely hope for quick
Yeah,
recovery.
I'm easily accessible, so if you guys have any questions or concerns, you may call, text message, whatever you need.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Anything else? All right, well, thank you, Chad.
Okay.
Any questions for us, real quick? No?
I don't think so.
You know how to find us and get
I
hold of us.
know where you're at.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Anything else for public comment on agenda items? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the approval of the board meeting minutes from December 14th, 2022, regular board meetings. Everybody had an opportunity to review your minutes tonight?
I make a motion to accept.
Any support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carried, thank you. Next item we have is the consent agenda. We have the building department report, EMS report, office manager report, planning commission report, and NEMC minutes. Is there anything anybody would like to remove from the consent agenda tonight? All right, hearing none, can I get a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make the motion.
Any support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Next item we have tonight are the financial reports. We have, Kathy has included in our packet, bills for this month. If there are any questions for Kathy?
File avoided checks.
Why all the voided checks?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I actually don't have a list of my bills on me. Hang on, I'll show you.
Seems to be in.
Where are we? Oh, do you remember last month I told you guys?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we did, didn't you?
That I wrote them out, and they were dated for that month, and I didn't want to void them all, but I voided the ones I had to that.
Mhm.
Yeah. But it all came out in the wash, and we're all even on our numbers. But Lane, did you have a question?
I did, I told you I don't.
Is it the one that's at the second page, the 11,929, various company invoices?
Could have been there. What is that?
If that is Sermet, our engineer. He bills us, it's right here.
Tri-County.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He does a lot of engineering for us,
Right.
for other people, and I write one check and attach all his invoices. In the future, would you like to see all his invoices? Some of them are, a lot are on the park, the pathway. He had to give us
Okay.
some preliminary designs, like 6,400 of that bill was towards that.
The other people in the community also,
Well, like Nationwide,
Nationwide, Tri-County Services?
no, like Nationwide is doing an addition.
Right.
This is his cost, so then Lori in turn will bill Nationwide reimburses, or we get an escrow. Yeah,
he's reviewed for.
Okay,
We actually have an escrow. from
Yeah, I was
this
gonna
point.
say, yeah.
So you already have these funds in the township, and we just bill against that escrow.
That escrow.
oh, okay.
And then any balance that's left will go back to the company. So we're really never paying for it, but the park is gonna be, well, we have the recreation funds where the park money's coming from.
Okay, it could have been that I was questioning what that was for. Okay.
Any more questions?
Because I don't see it. Let's see. Okay, no other questions.
I'm good.
All right, hearing none, then motion to be in order to approve and pay bills as presented.
So I make the motion to approve and pay the bills as presented.
Any support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion's carried. Treasurer's report.
Yeah.
It isn't populated.
We did. Oh, sorry. Is there any questions about the treasurer's report that would like you to get back to the treasurer? Questions? No? Okay. No questions for the treasurer's report, then that will stand as presented. Next item under the financials, we have the approval of the Armada School Collection of Taxes for 2023. That paperwork is in your packet. The motion would be in order to authorize the Richmond Township Treasurer to collect the summer 2023 tax levy for Richmond Township residents living in the Armada School District, distribute them to the property taxing entities, and to charge $2 per parcel for this service.
You know, and initially I had questions about it, because right away when I read that, I thought, well, what is this for? $2 per parcel that have Armada schools, right?
Mhm.
Their schools. So that was my first note was, well, how many parcels are there? Why is it $2 and what is the levy? So those were all my questions, and then I read the next group, because Richmond's asking the same thing, and so is Memphis.
Mhm.
So all three school districts are requesting this, right?
Right.
They're choosing for us to collect it for them, so we charge them $2 a parcel
Per parcel,
for our treasurer to
Do their, do
We
their
are
research.
charging them.
them.
Oh,
We're doing it for them.
Oh, okay.
Basically.
And you could ask Cindy about how many parcels. They can tell you how many's in Memphis, how many's in Armada. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head how many's.
okay.
Cindy or
That
Tom
was just,
would
that was
answer.
my question was, what exactly is that? That was another one of my questions, okay.
I'll make a motion though.
Okay, do we get support? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion's carried. Put to it here, next item, we have the approval of the Memphis school tax, I'm sorry, let me start over. The approval of Memphis school collection of taxes for 2023. We'd be seeing $2 per parcel.
Make the motion to pay them, right, or to,
Authorize them.
Authorize
Authorize
that
it,
treasurer to
Yes.
collect.
yes.
I'll support that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion's carried. And the third item under that, we have the approval of Richmond school collection of taxes for 2023. Motion would be in order to authorize the treasurer to collect the summer 2023 tax.
I'll make the motion.
Your support? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion is carried. Thank you. Next item we have tonight is the farmland preservation. PBR update.
Yeah, as we all know, you had our closing last week on my property. City personnel is getting pretty close. We did have a PDR meeting today for Ray Township. Elected officers, we kept them the same as they was. Kevin Cook is chair, Joe DeSena is vice chair, I'm secretary, and Jonathan Meek is our treasurer. And we just kind of reviewed over what we did and what we may be going to do for personnel and that kind of stuff. And we do have the Faulkner property might be going for federal. We might be eligible to get money there.
How big is that one? Or-
I think he's got 80. He's already got 40 in, 30, 40, yeah. He wants, and he's thinking about putting the rest of the farm.
I've had some people inquire about that too.
Yeah.
It's Friday even, so
Yeah.
I think maybe they'll help.
It's a
More help.
momentum.
Yeah. Next item we have is the building report.
Yeah, not too much to report on, I don't think, this evening. I'll just mention that the cabling was completed for the the security camera system in the building. You can see one of the little cameras here in the back of the room that we're sitting in. None of them are attached to anything yet. Cameras are there, the cabling is there. The hardware that actually does the recording, lets us view, is not there yet. So right now, we are not recording anything in this meeting or in the buildings, but as the equipment comes in, it's being installed. So I'll keep the board up to date with regards to that. Outside of that, unless the board has anything with regard to the building items, I think that's good.
Was that those guys that were here today? They had tall sticks all over the place.
No, I think there was somebody that served, had here to do some surveying work, yes.
Gotcha.
Any other questions for Jeff? Hearing none, we'll move on to the assessor's report. She has it in her packet tonight. Anything you guys would like me to take back to our assessor this month? Okay, perfect. Hearing none, we'll move on to the library report.
I do have something from Julianne Kammer. So she just wanted to inform me about the service that the library has about COVID-19 test kits, that people can receive them there if you would like to pick them up, as I'm sure that you can get them at the EMS, I'm sure, right?
No, I don't know.
No?
Pick up kits there.
Okay,
Nice in the
well, you
library.
can at the library, yes. And you can, there's no residency requirement. People may request one test per person in their household per day for up to 5 people.
That's very nice.
Yes, so that's good. And then they can even call the library for a pickup if they can't make it, you know, like, because you're sick. And they have the children's programming that's starting up this week for the last sit. And they'll also have federal and state tax forms available for 2020 tax season.
You should ask Jeff.
Jeff, does the EMS have test kits available for COVID-19 testing that are free? No?
No, we don't have any kits left that are free.
Did you tell him about the library?
Okay, the library has some test kits that are free. Just let me
Very good.
Excellent. Any questions for Elaine for the library? Anything we do in the library? Well, thank you so much. Moving on to recreation report. I know Cindy's not here tonight to give a report on that. We have a meeting next week, Wednesday, as far as I know. So we'll see what comes out of the meeting and hope that's moving forward. I know the application, all that has been submitted. So I think we don't find out until this month or next month. Or what she said, that'll be soon though. I'm sure we'll be keeping everybody up to date on that. Is there any questions you'd like me to take back to her for recreation? Okay. Then we'll move on to unfinished business. We have your monthly medical marijuana update. If anybody has anything to add to that tonight. We kind of quiet down for a moment. Next item on our unfinished business was just our Chad building inspector discussion. I bumped him up to so we can kind of get in and get out of here. And that takes us down to our phone system discussion. So I will ask for a motion to discuss.
I'll make that one. Oops.
For support. Okay, so earlier this week, last week, I think last week, Chris Burkle and I had a phone meeting with Scott and Ed from Tower. So here we'll just start with Tower and see what they say for our phone system. And we went through what we're looking for, what we need, which isn't much. Just a basic phone system, voicemail, caller ID. So they're putting together something for 8 handsets, which will get everybody that's replaced in the office. It won't be on a hard line, I don't think. It'll be more of a computer-based system is what it sounds like. And I know you're working on getting some Comcast numbers from you, and they talked to Jeff about breaking off from EMS. So we're getting some stuff together. I don't have any estimate from them as of this afternoon, but they're still working on getting the data. So I'm hoping to have maybe something more solid from them for the next meeting. And I think Tom Green even had another system idea too, so I'm gonna get with him and see if I can't have a couple proposals to look at for the board for the next meeting. So that's just where we're at with that. Any questions or about phone? Anybody? set the public hearing for the CDBG date. So a motion would be in order to set that for Wednesday, February 8, 2023 at 7 p.m., which is be a regular board meeting there.
Moved.
Support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
And
Opposed? All right, motion's carried. Next item we have tonight would be the limestone discussion reviews. We're going to need a motion to discuss.
I'll make that motion.
Support?
Support.
Okay, so I've got from Lori, as she always does every year, gives us a pretty extensive list of where we've been, what we've done, and a list of complaints about roads that come into the township. Forgive me, I'm trying to flip to them real quick. I am recommending to the board, based on the complaint list, spreading it up. We did 3 miles this year, but do a mile on Pratt Road from Olmo Road going east to Craterman. So we can break that down. Yeah. And then a mile on Wall Road from school section north to Shoe Road.
That will get you to shoot.
It should get right about the Shoe Road, yeah. And then the last mile will be on 34 mile, starting at Welding and going west. Got that curve in there. Yeah, and those are off of our complaint sheets. I think the 34 came in March of last year. Wall Road was also in March. And then the recent one we had was November of last year for Pratt. I know there's been a couple complaints from these fine gentlemen in the front row.
And then what about,
Well, that's 3 miles then.
That'd be your 3 miles.
well, yeah, but we're just discussing it.
Oh.
If you have to add anything or know of anything, now's the time to
Yeah.
say.
You know,
This is how we discuss.
I do have a concern. It's always a concern, and it is my road, on Place Road, and it was done in 2010. You know, and it's not just for me personally, but I know that it got really bad there for a bit. And I always think of my neighbor too. He always plows our road for us all the time in the winter. And he's out there in his tractor every day, back and forth from one farm to another. And I just think, look, it's just gotta be brutal. And as you would know, of course, because you're farmers and he's a farmer, and I just think that, I always see these guys out there and I just think, it's gotta be bad on those tractors, right? I don't know. So not just personally for me, but for my neighboring community.
Would you want to try to make an adjustment to cover that, you think?
Well, I don't know the extent of the other roads. You know,
I called and, right here, this is in your package, too. That's
Yep.
all that I was going off of, was the calls that we actually got from the location.
Right.
But certainly, this is the time to discuss. If you'd like to try to do something, we could.
You know, I have not driven those roads to see, you know, but they're not bad right now.
The roads that he's
Are they?
suggesting, when was the last time those were done?
No,
Let's go into like years.
I don't think we ever done, I did, let's see.
I was looking on there too, and I didn't see 34 at all.
Yeah, we
You said
didn't.
34 mile road? I didn't see it on there, did you see it? I didn't see
No.
34, I saw 33,
We
yes.
haven't done that section of Craft, we haven't done that section of 34.
Right, I'm sure that we could, you
We
know,
haven't done Wall Road there either. We did Wall Road from Boardman south.
I did see that.
Yeah, so this would get the other part of Wall Road that we didn't do.
And then what about your 2 gentlemen that are here?
We haven't done that.
Pratt Road is there.
We did Craterman to Deland, but we didn't do Olmo to Craterman.
So you have the one that they're talking
Yes.
about? On
First one is
schedule?
that.
Yes.
Correct, gotcha.
Well, you were telling us earlier, you think you can do it from almost, Pratt, right? Or not from,
Olmo to Craterman.
right,
Yeah.
over a mile there, but you think they'll do it for that mile?
Yeah.
I'm correct, this
Yeah.
right here? This is,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's almost there.
almost to credit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about
So everything that's highlighted here, this is probably what we've already done.
right there. Yes.
So it's not been done.
And no, that's what they want to have.
Yeah, that's what we try to look at too, ones that haven't been done.
And Wall Road, that section, that wasn't either, yeah. Seems to meet your goals.
Just like,
By what's
I don't
needed.
get over there that much, but I've been down, and it is, it almost, like you said, sets lower.
The
road
just
kind of
it's weird.
down. It's definitely a problem.
Right, right. So that's how I determined that, looking at our list, talking with these guys.
A lane top of the list for
I say
next year.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
When you go out saying when it was done and say that nothing's been done on that road for 50 years.
No, we know that.
They did clean the ditch, and anybody knows where we live, you know where we live, because I take care of the ditches, you may not, as good as you can.
And then if you stop, you'll talk to them forever.
But anyway, another thing, I know there's nothing that board can do about it. We have about 4 houses on our road. They don't affect me at all, but their culverts are right full. I put my 3rd set in 50 years. And it's bad for the neighbors next door because they're the ones that get the water.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me at all,
Right.
but it's not a very polite thing for your neighbors. I don't know what can be done, probably nothing.
Well, once, and I was talking with a new foreman over there, and there's good information for the board too, because what he wants to do is once he gets the approved list from us, that we approve the 3 miles, what he wants to do is go out there and start prepping. He wants to trim trees on the road, clean out any culverts that are plugged, maybe ditches, and he can get it ready, and the last thing they do is put the limestone on, and then that's section. He wants to do all that before the limestone. So
By the way, this is my neighbor Chris Wright. We've been there for all our life, so thank you.
So
I really appreciate it. We can get it done.
No problem.
They live right here?
Chris will be here, and obviously.
So cleaning up the road before the limestone, there's kind of a new thing, and I think it'll be good.
They're doing it in St. Clair, they're doing a heck of a job.
Are they?
Sure.
They did.
Crazy, and they're cutting trees.
Yeah, they did do a lot of that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
So a lane top of the list for next
Next year.
we can definitely.
I call the road commission all the time and say, could you come out to my road, please? It's pretty bad.
They don't know unless you call.
Right.
I mean,
I'm nice
really,
about it, I'm not mean about it. So-
I get a response instantly. I don't tell them I'm a clerk. I pull no leverage. I'm just like, can you do something about my road? And then you'll see them.
I've even called them, thank them to come out and do it, so.
Yeah,
We
really appreciate
can
it.
work together.
Okay, we'll get it done. Okay, so any other questions regarding that before we make a motion?
Do we need to vote on that, or just?
On the roads, because of the limestone spending, did you get any prices from them? yet?
She's working on sending the bids out. Once they're approved, she's working on it. We may not get that until April.
Recommendation for me to time to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, they
Because
want-
they said that after they got the, where we wanted it to go, then they would send the billing out. And then figure for the cost of the, what's it called, brine?
Right.
Yeah. So, but they would also absorb the majority of the cost, right?
Right.
So if we recommend those, you stipulate those roads, then we can send the minutes in with
Yeah.
it, with you,
Yeah,
and then
Yeah.
they'll start giving us a figure.
well, yeah, then I can sue for the numbers for us.
For July.
Yeah, before July, so, but they need this from us first.
Great.
It's going down in July sometime.
Usually July, August, depending on their schedule. Sometime in the summer is when they actually put the limestone down. Okay, so any other discussion?
Sounds good.
We got, so now that I did a motion to discuss and open that, now we've done a motion to.
To approve.
Yep.
You're gonna make,
So we'll do, looking for a motion to approve, what we call it?
Yeah.
1 mile of limestone on Pratt Road from Omo Road east, 1 mile of limestone on Wall Road from school section north, and 1 mile of limestone on 34 Mile Road from Walden west.
okay, Lori, did you get all those? Perfect.
All fair say aye. Opposed?
Elaine was first.
Deferred.
Whatever, thank you, I'm sorry.
And all these.
Okay, thank you. Next item we have tonight is the approval of board committee roster. Okay, give a motion to discuss.
I'll make that motion.
Support? Okay, so at the last meeting, we reviewed our boards and commissions, and I think we discussed possibly about maybe Elaine being on the cable commission, so we exchanged a couple of emails, I asked if she'd be interested, and I said, I'll talk to Brandy, and Brandy said she'd be willing to be an alternate if Elaine wanted to step in her position, or cable position. So, the only change I would have to the board committee roster tonight would be making Brandy the alternate for the cable and moving Elaine into our second commissioner position. So if the board is okay with that, can I get a motion to make that change?
I'll make a motion to make the change to have Elaine be the official cable commissioner, and then Brandy DeVos move to alternate.
Okay, your support?
Support?
You can
I
say
support.
All right, all those that
Also,
Mary said be support.
opposed? All right, motion carried.
Okay.
And can I request one thing? Can we get a report back from the cable commission?
Yeah, there's this one here.
we got one here.
Well, those are minutes.
Oh, they're not.
And you're looking for a report?
Like when Chris was on it, he would come and tell us at every meeting, you know how you talk about library, now we'll have
Oh,
Elaine
okay.
to talk about it so we know what's going on.
I just really have another question about that too. I see on this, according to these minutes, that she's the secretary?
Elaine?
No, it says Brandy.
Yes.
We can
Yes.
talk about that after the meeting. Yeah,
Yes.
she's labeled as secretary.
Does that mean necessarily that I become the secretary?
No, I think what it is,
The
Brandy's
secretary
like,
takes the minutes.
she's the official that it needs to be signed, but Elaine's the one taking the note.
Yeah. Elaine will call and takes the minutes.
It's no more than
Oh.
Lori taking the notes for you.
I was secretary under for almost 10 years and I've never signed anything,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
I was considered secretary.
But now that's good though, because
Yeah.
Under if anything pops up where they need the secretary's official signature, Brandy would be the one signing it,
Right.
not Elaine. Elaine's just taking the minutes, right? Because
no,
it's got her name.
She's
on
also a
it.
commissioner too.
She's got the name on the minutes.
Elaine.
Elaine does the minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were talking
Not
about
Elaine.
No.
Elaine and Elaine, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, we got-
Yeah.
It'll make everyone's, you know.
If I'm emphasizing the A and E, that's why.
Yeah.
That's great. So, but I'll get you more details on that. Brandy said she's going to meeting with you
Right.
this month.
Then,
I'm confused on one thing though. How can Brandy be the secretary if she's gonna be the alternate?
Well, she won't be the secretary.
That's
anymore.
what.
It is gonna, she's gonna be the secretary and
Yeah.
Elaine is the
Elaine's
minute.
talking.
Okay,
Right.
gotcha,
That's what she
gotcha.
said.
Sorry.
They'll
I
work,
was
they'll work
confused
that
on
out on their board there.
All right.
Okay. All right, next item we have is just to set the date for the budget meeting. Special. Yeah, so looking at my calendar, kind of zoning in on March 4th, Saturday. I don't know how that works with anybody else. Possibly the 18th, but those are really my only two days in March, unless we go to April, but we can't, I think we talked about trying to do it in March. If we could.
Fourth
March.
is fine with me.
March the 4th?
Yeah, March the 4th.
That's fine with me, that's fine. That will just give us time if we run into hiccups to have another. And if we
Okay.
can't get it in March, we can get it
Sure.
still in
The
April.
earlier we have it, the better.
Yeah.
March 18th would not be the
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
day. It's the
gonna be-
historic tea event. Richmond.
That's important.
It is important, especially, yes. And how is it you're holding the table on that, so it's the tea. The Historical Society for town.
So March 4th,
March 4th, everybody okay with March 4th?
at what time?
We'll start that at 9 a.m.
The only hiccup I could see is if Cindy has something,
Right.
Yeah.
because
Okay.
you need 5 of us really.
Well, if it won't work for her, then,
Find out if we need to change it, we can.
yeah, we can change it to February, maybe we can move things around.
This is an all-day event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got till 2, but, I don't know, We'll hopefully be well organized, and we'll at least keep moving, so we'll do the best we can. So, okay, so we will set the date, any motion for
Well, I would,
No, because we don't have.
let's not make a motion because maybe we'll change it because it's Cindy.
that?
I think
I just set it on March
So
4th.
just tentative,
Yeah.
tentative date
But then we just have to advertise it because it's got to be.
in the paper, yeah.
Do people come to it? Other people come?
Sometimes.
They can,
yes.
they can.
Should we just put it on then for next agenda, just formally approve it, since he's here?
In February,
In February,
yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that way,
Yeah.
just make sure we're.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. All right, well, with that being said, items for next agenda, obviously put budget meeting. Approval,
Maybe something on the phones.
yes, phones. If anybody has anything in the meantime, feel free to reach out and get it on there.
We could discuss personnel's PDR. Elizabeth's gonna get back to me on a few
Yeah,
things.
that might be a lot closer.
Yeah, a lot closer.
Okay. Yeah, well, keep us posted, we'll make sure we get it out there if you need to. Next time will be called to the board. Anybody have anything for us?
Yeah.
Should.
Only thing today at the PDR, Jeff Schroeder brought up, there's the governor wouldn't sign the solid waste issue, the townships, the local units of government are going to become more responsible for having a solid waste plan, and that's the recycling solution. What this is going to curtail, nobody knows yet. Yeah, so that's something we need to be just aware of coming down the road.
Okay.
If it does become the planning and economic development are going to overly help you, what you're going to do. It could be a can of worms, you know, that sounds to me. You know, remember before we talked about doing recycling here, so you might get forced into doing that. I don't know. It's just,
So I guess we kind of wait and see what.
yeah, I just bring it up to you, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know. Yeah. Good to know what's going on.
One more thing, I'm sorry, I forgot that we were talking about last time. Were we going to do something, or is someone else doing it about the big topic of discussion, that whole, with people with farmland,
Solar
the
farm?
solar panel?
That's, another thing, there's a, gentleman with MSU Extension. Whether he would come out, because I asked Terry today about having somebody come out and talk to us about these solar farms. The good, the bad, the ugly of them. You know, not for them, not against them, just tell us what the heck's going on. Do we want to approach something like that? Or she said they might be wanting to do like a Zoom meeting with us, with the board. If it wouldn't be an in-person, but I told her I kind of would like something for the whole, for everybody.
Yeah.
Even invite the people from St. Clair County, because that's where most of the trouble's going on right now.
Right.
Is it Wales Township, is it?
That's the one where I don't know how close they are, but it's.
Seems to be moving forward on
Yeah,
that.
it seems to be moving forward.
Right. Well, it'd be nice to have somebody in person.
You know, we've had a lot of inquiries in our area. Have you guys been inquired, the solar farms?
No, my neighbor did.
Yeah, see,
Over there.
everybody over by us, they've called them, you know, to talk.
Solar farm.
Yeah.
We have 100 acres right next to it.
Yeah.
Now, if he would do it,
Yeah,
he'd be over to see us, but they haven't yet. I
Yeah.
would never do it, but
Mm-hmm.
there's too much bad land that I could use for that.
Well, yeah,
So it's straight farmland around.
that's my opinion
Trying to
too.
bury the zone right now.
Yeah. I mean, you go by the way, there's signs all over, no
Yeah.
solar industry.
That's
They're
what
talking
they
1,800 acres.
They claim they got a big one kind of ready to go in up there, whether they do or not. But yeah, and a lot of people in our township they've been, you know, talking to them, hey, are you interested, will you do it? So we kind of just want to educate
Drop a lot of
everyone.
money.
Yeah,
It's another reason to promote that PDR program too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get somebody in here to explain.
So I'll look into it and see what I can find out, if I can get something organized or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got a planning commission meeting next week.
Yeah.
We need some discussion too, right?
Yeah, well, we're working on, Steve is working on it for that. How well he's, how much he's got laid out, I'm not sure. I don't know. Samantha, do you know anything about the solar thing? Because Steve kind of made it sound as if they're hard to stop if they come in.
Yeah, they fall under a different act, and they have their own powers and,
Yeah.
all the utility
Yeah.
regulations. Some municipalities have their own ordinance to control
Yeah.
it. Some don't allow it at all, just like wind farms, solar
Yeah.
farms. They're great for the environment, but the dispose of and restoration is always an issue.
Yeah. But no, the planning commission is working on that.
Okay.
As soon as Steve gets us something to, look over and talk about, we're gonna pass something,
Right. Okay. Okay, I'll be curious to see what you guys come up with.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to ask them a question, you seem to know about it. Do they have the right to condemn over?
No, these are private utilities, they're not public utilities.
Okay, so
They're not a road commission or anything.
we got condemned in the warrant. That was,
If they show a very strong case, you recorded here.
I don't care what I said, I don't really know, that's the way I feel.
So generally, the act of condemnation is they have to show a very strong case to the judge that this is the only spot and the only spot that would work. And for a solar company, that's very hard. For a cellular, maybe. For road commission, yes. Anything related to the public, welfare and safety, yes. But if it's private and it's a private entity, that's going to be very hard.
Yeah, who was condemned by the, some from college, they served papers on a Friday night, was not very nice.
You said college? No, that's a different animal.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
I guess that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
Anything else for call of the board today? Which leads us to general public comment. So we kind of rolled into that anyway. Any other general public comment here tonight? For the record? Hearing none, then I'll get a motion to adjourn.
So move.